Good morning. Monday morning, June 1st. Made it through May, starting on June. I did get I got an email from Garfield, from Newcastle County. Nothing about our class or Garfield Park, actually. They were looking for people to work. They're going to be doing drive-through testing throughout, I guess, Newcastle County. I don't know if it's going to be one. It's going to be a couple locations, I guess. But they're trying to do just testing on a real massive scale. So if you know anyone who wants to be tested, I believe it's a self-administered test, a saliva test. So they hand you the test kit, you spit in it or whatever. And then there's a place for you to deposit it on your way out. And it's all like a complete sort of drive-through thing. And I don't believe you don't need a doctor's recommendation or what's the word? Prescription. You don't need, I don't even believe you need to be symptomatic. I don't, my own personal feeling about that is it's probably not very effective if you're not symptomatic, but what do I know? So I have seen a couple email or not email, but online announcements of that. So I expect you'll be hearing more. But I think they were beginning today, and they were going to go for at least through June, if not further. So you might want to look on the county site, look on the county website, see what you can find out about that. If you don't already know, maybe you've already heard about it. If you have, if you have any need to get tested, or you feel like there's anyone in your family that needs testing, this would be probably a fairly painless way to go about getting that done. I did not take the job to help out. Mainly because I imagine there are some people who can really use the money more than I. Not that I don't need money, but yoga clearly is not my source of soul support. So, but I know there are people probably in the system, contractors and things, that were teaching classes that it made a big chunk of their income. So hopefully this can help make up for that for them. Good morning, Sabira. So yeah, we'll see we'll see what happens. I haven't heard anything more about Garfield Park opening. Don't know when that might be, but we'll see. I guess today is the day that a lot of places are opening, restaurants and such. I think my daughter's restaurant is opening, but I guess to a smaller capacity than normal, and maybe more outdoor seating and that sort of thing. So let's just sit and breathe for a little bit. We'll give it a couple minutes, maybe another minute or two, and then get started. So just finding a comfortable place to sit. I spent this weekend working on a shed that we have in the backyard. Good morning, Key. Good morning, Dora. Um, it was one of those jobs that um, you imagine it's going to be one thing and it turns out to be something else. I don't know why I'm surprised because that's pretty much every job that I've ever done anywhere. Um, but it turned out to be a lot of demolition and then ordering things from Home Depot to get delivered because I've given up uh, getting things from stores. Like even before all of this, it's I shopping is I'm not a big fan of shopping. I'm more of a buyer than a shopper. Like I just want to buy it and be done. I don't want to have to wander around, look for it, forage it out of the corners of the store, being disappointed because it's not there when it's supposed to be there. Um, so I like that idea of having things delivered. And of course, the older I get, the more I realize that, especially when you're talking about big things like lumber, stuff like that, that's a whole job in itself. Just picking, um, putting it in your car, taking it out of your car. Um, so then I don't want to do anything after that. That's a whole job. So I'm going to let someone else do that job. I'll do the other job. Um, but yeah, there's a lot to be done. And it wasn't until my husband was getting kind of annoyed and frustrated, but then I showed him how much another shed would be. and, and then he cheered right up because sheds are very expensive. It's been a long time. I think we bought one maybe 20 years ago, not here, but another place. We bought a kit and built it. But lumber goes up, everything goes up, so it's pretty expensive now. So, but you spend the weekend doing stuff, and then come Monday, you're kind of in a bad way. So, whatever you spent this weekend doing, maybe you were gardening, maybe you were doing a little extra housework or something, you may find um, you're feeling a little stiff and out of sorts today. So, we'll work through that and get yourself going. It's tough because I don't do, and I really feel it. I probably should do some yoga on Sunday, even though I don't teach a class. Usually I just take Sundays all the way off, but I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't because I feel the difference actually just not having moved around so much. I feel stiffer in the afternoon and the rest of the day. So, um, all right, so we're sitting and breathing, and today we're just going to kind of recap the Niyamas. Um, so, to kind of go over them just quickly again, the first one is Saucha, which is this idea of purity and cleanliness. Obviously, physically being clean, taking care of your body, taking care of your environment. Your home environment and your world too, right? Trying to keep things clean, keep things pure, not contaminating stuff or wrecking things. But also what you consume, the purity of the food that you're eating, purity of what you're consuming in terms of in entertainment, books and movies and stuff, understanding. And, it doesn't mean that you will never watch a scary movie or a murder mystery or, maybe those are things that, you enjoy. But knowing that they can have an effect on you mentally and, you know, as a result, kind of your whole body. Overdoing those type of things can be a problem. So being aware of that is good. Santosha is that idea of contentment, um, self acceptance. So, contentment with yourself, understanding that you have to be uh, okay with where you are. Um, You don't have to stay where you are. Maybe you want to change, whether you want to move on, do something different, improve some things. But know that you can't do that if you um, hate yourself, if you have nothing but negative thoughts about yourself. So make peace with where you are, and then you can make your changes as you like. Um, and then the contentment of um, what's going on in your life, right? And a really helpful tool for this is that idea of gratitude. Um, if you feel dissatisfied, if you feel like things aren't as you want them to be, um, try being grateful. Try thinking of how lucky you are for the things that you do have, even though they may not be everything you want. Um, they may be what you need right now. So again, that awareness, being aware of that. Tapas, the idea of um, building a sort of a core of self-discipline and self-discipline and perseverance. It gives you the strength to keep trying, keep moving. Um, and it's just like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it gets. So you build on your successes with that. And again, like that's something you want to remember. Remember that you accomplished this, that you made it through this to this next thing, to this next thing. Um, that will help you with all the other ones, right? That idea of self discipline and building on that. Svadhyaya, the funny names one, which is spiritual study and observation, also sort of self study. Um, Hi, Barbara. Hi, Ruth. So that idea that it's important to get to know yourself, get to know what makes you tick, um, and also taking some time to do some spiritual study in whatever capacity that might be. It might be reading some stuff about yoga. It might be delving deeper into whatever religious faith you practice. All of these things are tied together, right? And you'll see commonalities in all of these. And that's one of the things I love so much. So this one of these places I've gone to, a yoga retreat, it's called it's an ashram, but everyone calls it Yogaville. It's in Virginia. And what really appeals to me about it is that they have this central sort of shrine that looks like a big lotus. It's kind of crazy set out in this, Virginia field, this big uh, pink lotus. And inside are altars set all the way around the circumference of the sphere indoors, and one for every religion of the world, every main religion of the world. So all of the ones that we've ever heard of, and then there's a few others. There's a one for like native religions, sort of for native cultures all over the world, and there's an altar for unknown religion, right? So religion of the future. So allowing that there may be a future religion that we don't know about, but they're all equal footing. They are all, none is more important than another. Each one is valid. Each one has truth. Um, each one can speak to us in a different way. And uh, their sort of saying there is many paths, one truth. And if, we think about it, we are all kind of working towards the same sort of goals. We just do it in different ways. And it's true with yoga as well, right? We might not all have the same goals with our yoga practice. Um, well, yeah, I mean, we may not have the same goals. We have maybe the ultimate goals, but we may have steps along the way that are going to be different, and we'll want to take different courses to get there, right? Some people may be really interested in asana, do a lot of physical practice. Some people may be much more interested in the philosophy, and they'll do a lot of reading and study with that. Some people might be more interested in what they call bhakti, which is the devotional side of yoga. And we'll touch on that in further weeks. Just that idea that there are different branches of yoga. Right? We haven't talked about that too much, but there are. So yeah, studying and observation. Then last one is Ishvara Pranadhana, which is the idea of surrendering to the divine, which means really turning over responsibility to the divine. So we are working through our place in the universe, right? So it's like when they interview a guy on a sports team and they say, "Wow, you're a real star," and he goes, "No, I'm just part of the team." Well, that's what we are. We're just part of this big team called the universe. So we succeed and we fail as a group. Um, you may work very hard and do a great job, but there's a lot of structure behind you that also supports you to get you where you're going. And knowing this can help you feel less alone. Um, so, and when we fail in something, sometimes it really is through no fault of our own, right? We've worked as hard as we can, we've done everything we can, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out. So it takes the ego out of what we're doing. Um, and it also takes some of the fear, right? Some of the maybe the shame that might come from not achieving the things that we believe that we should have achieved. So turn that over to God, right? To the divine. We are working through our place in the universe. And when we do that, when we turn that ego aside, not only do we kind of start working in line with the universe and what's going on, but we also, our path becomes clearer, right? Because it's not clouded by whatever we have going on up here, right? Our ego tells us this, tells us that. Our ego is inflated or deflated by the things around us, the things people say. And our goal is to let go of that. It allows you to see things clearly instead of being um, distorted by what is happening around you. You know, people's opinion of you, or other people's achievements, or you know, as human beings, those things are very it's a lot of noise, right? And we hear it all the time. We can't avoid it. So let go of the noise, let go of the ego, let go of ownership, right? Of all of these things. Instead, just see what happens. Be part of the team, right? No, it was the whole team. We worked together. It's not just about me. Um, it's not a bad way to go through life, really. Um, be part of the team. So those are the niyamas. And like the yamas, there are really just a way to, um, organize your life in a way that is productive and is not wearing you down. Um, so you're not going to, remember to to do all of these things all the time. Um, but they all kind of work together. So um, as we practice each one, it kind of opens the door for the other ones. And um, they're all pretty common sense too. So you can just kind of, use your judgment about what you want to do, and you can jump in wherever you want, right? I mean, some of them you're obviously already doing, um, but the idea of spiritual study. So doing a little more spiritual study can also move you into some of these other niyamas too. So if you have more questions about this, about how they fit together, or whatever, just send me an email or something. We can talk about it. Um, it's a lot. I mean, and these are things that you'll probably work on your whole life. I mean, we all will. Um, no one like perfects them, right? Everybody, we're struggling against this human nature, which pulls us in other ways. So we are trying to get that, be more in a spiritual nature, right? We talk about that. There's a wonderful quote, and I always mess it up. So you are not you're not a physical being having a spiritual experience, right? So we think about that. Okay, so I'm getting interested in yoga, I'm getting interested in religion, whatever. I'm having a spiritual experience, but that's not it at all. We're actually a spiritual being having a physical experience. So we are this spirit living in a body, and not a body that's searching for some sort of spiritual thing. We are first spirit. So whatever we do, whatever we work on with that, uh, is is really helpful for the whole thing, right? It helps everything. We're working from the inside out, not trying to find something that we're bringing into the body. We're going the other way. So all you have is all you need. That's it. Um, and yeah, we're running really late now, so we better do some yoga. All right. Did you see? I'm probably reluctant to get moving because I feel stiff. I think that's what it is. We'll see what we do today. All right. So hang the head down and breathe here, and then we're gonna start moving head around in a big circle, just going slowly. A couple of times one way and the other. And back to center. Lean forward. Move around. One way and the other. Back to your seat. Arms wide. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands together. Inhale wide. Exhale. Inhale wide. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands. Gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. Lower. Lift. And lower. Lift the arms again. Right arm by the side, reach across. Switch sides. And back up. Let's lift the shoulders. Roll back. And forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind, sit up tall, take a twist. Back to center and switch sides. Back to center. Tabletop. And let's move through some cat-cow. Inhaling and exhaling. Back to tabletop and then sitting back on the heels, child's pose. Moving back up. Tabletop, downward dog. Bicycle out the legs a little bit. And then step the feet up. We'll be in a fold for a few breaths. Rising up. Standing tall in your mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, right foot steps back. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Stepping back, downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Let's hold here and then lower down. Inhale, just lifting up, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Lift. And lower. Moving back up. Tabletop, downward dog. One more breath. Then right foot steps up. Drop the left knee, arms overhead. Let's bring hands to center. Take a breath. Twisting to the right. You could hook the elbow if you want. Breathe. Come on back to center. Right hand comes down by the foot. We're going to lift up the left. Both hands down to the mat. Maybe walk them out a little bit. Stretching into kind of a mini lizard. Walk your hands back, straightening out the right leg. Fold over. And then set the foot down. Bring the hands up by the foot. Step up the back foot and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the arms. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, stepping back with the left. Set the knee down, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, stepping back. Downward dog. Come forward to high plank. Let's hold here. And then lower down. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lifting, head and chest. And back down. Last one, lifting head and chest. And back down. Back up, tabletop. Downward dog. One more breath. Left foot steps up. Set your knee down on the right, arms overhead. And then hands to center. Take a breath in and then twisting to the left. Back to center. Left hand down by the foot. Right arm lifts. And then both hands to the mat. Walking out a little bit. As much as you want. And then walk your hands back, straightening out the left leg, folding over maybe. And then we're going to set the foot down, step the back foot up, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting on your inhale. And back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. And let's do a little balance. So we could do tree. We'll stand on the left. Got that right foot coming in. Wherever you feel steady. Keep breathing. Hands can stay at center, or you could extend. See how you feel. And then set the foot back down. So switch sides. Standing on the right. Finding that central balance. And then maybe choosing some extension. And then set back down. Bicycle out the legs. From mountain, I'm just going to lift up the right knee. Foot is flexed, nice and strong, shoulders back. Set the foot down, switch sides, lifting up, left knee. And press back down. Bicycle the legs. And then back up top of the mat, arms overhead. Let's interlace the fingers, flip the palms, lean back a little, and then fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step back, downward dog. Inhale, come on forward to high plank. And then lower down. Head turns right, arms by your side. Head back to center. Let's set up for cobra. So we'll have hands, palms resting on the mat, about chest height, elbows close, shoulders squeeze back. And we're going to lift up head and chest, and then hover the hands. Lower down. Arms by the side, head turns left. Head back to center. We're going to lift up head and chest and the arms and the legs. So palms are resting on the mat. Lifting up. And lower back down. Bring the hands out in front. Rest the chin or the forehead on the hands. Breathe. And then moving back up. Tabletop, downward dog. And then step the feet up to the hands. Come on down to a seat. Soles of the feet together. Sit up tall, deep breath, and then lean forward here. So I make the same error everyone does, right? With when I speak about the practice, and what I mean to say is we're doing asana, right? So we're always doing yoga. Whatever we're doing, if we're doing it in our mindful way, we're following the yamas and the niyamas, we're doing all that stuff, we are practicing our yoga. But the asana, right, that's this physical practice, the poses. Come on back up. Let's lift the knees. We're going to catch a hold of the big toe, yogi toe lock, or you could just hold on to the feet. I think I'm too close here. Lean back a little. Find your steadiness. And then maybe kind of halfway with the legs or extending more. And if you have this, you can work on, bringing the legs wider and see how that changes your balance. Sometimes it's harder. Sometimes it's easier. You can see. And then back down. Both legs out in front. Sitting tall, deep breath in, and then fold forward. Back up. And bend the right knee. Bring sole of the foot next to the thigh here. Sitting up tall. And then we're reaching the left hand down toward the foot, folding over that left leg. Back up. Switch sides. Take your deep breath. And then folding forward. Back up. Both legs out in front. One more fold. Breath in. Fold forward. And moving back up. Let's bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Give yourself some room to lower down or rock back. So we're resting on the mat, finding a comfortable place here. Extend the legs long. And then let's hug that right knee into the chest. One more breath. And then we're going to start lowering that right knee out to the side. You can use your hand to kind of support it or guide it however you want it to be. And just go again to that place where things start tightening up. And then we're just going to hold in that space. Bring the knee back to center. We're going to bring it across the body now, rolling up on that left hip. Back to flat on the back, and then we're going to switch. Breathe. So if it's a lot of pressure to hold on to the shin, you can always just hold on to the back of the knee or the back of the thigh, right? And then we're lowering. Left knee out to the side. And back. Drawing that leg or knee to center rather, and then across the body. And then bring the knee back to center. Let's extend both legs long. Take a few breaths. Bending the knees, soles of the feet to the mat, getting ready for your bridge. Hands by the side. Press down, hands and feet. Lift up the hips. And then resting back down. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Maybe bring the hands up over the head. And then bringing everything back to center. Knees into the chest. Rock a little. Extend the legs straight up. Hands by your side. Just hold this for a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, you can lower down however you like. And just find a place to be comfortable for your Shavasana. Keep breathing. Keep resting on the mat. Feel that sense of calm and peace. Relaxing the body. Sinking deeper into the mat. So as you breathe, feel that warmth in the body. Feel the breath as a light pouring into the body, warming up from the center. And moving from there out to all the extended parts of the body. So remember, we are spirit, we are light, we are consciousness. And in that, we hold everything we've ever needed and will ever need, right? That consciousness is the source, the beginning and the end. So much of what we learn is merely remembering. Right? You've forgotten your nature. You've forgotten the nature of the world. We get blinded with our bodies. We start feeling separate. We start identifying with our bodies and with the material world, possessions, and activities, things that our body does. We forget that those are a vehicle to our goal, which is advancement of that spirit. The realization of that spirit. And it would be so easy if we could just go, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Right? We can say it, we can read it, we can hear it, but until we know it, it won't be real for us. So the knowing takes time, right? To really let that sink into the body and the mind and everything else. And like everything in yoga, it's experiential, right? We can read about it, we can believe that it's true, but until we have experienced it for ourselves in our own practice, in our own life, it won't be real for us. Um, so that's, I mean, in one way, it's great, right? You don't need to take anybody's word for this. But on the other hand, it requires a little effort on our part, right? It's not so easy as to just um, hear it, right? Or so that's the struggle. That's the work. That's what we're working for, to get back to where we were, right? To get back to that knowledge of being um, divine. So it's our life's work, and there's no need to rush it. There's no need to be anxious or worried about where you are on that path. You are where you're meant to be, and we go from there. So moving a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet, stretching if you feel like it, and then making your way up to a seat. Let's bring hands together, breath in and out. Thank you for taking time today for yoga, for sharing it with me. And I hope you have a really great Monday, first day of June. Make it a good one. Namaste. Thank you for coming to class. I timed it perfectly. I was doing my bells just as the church bell was starting to ring. So you never know. It's very it's supposed to do it on the hour, but their clock is not attuned to any clock I have because it's all over the place. Thank you, Susan, for coming. Yeah, it's not even consistently wrong. Like it's not always like 2 minutes past the hour or 6 minutes past the hour. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But honestly, I've lived here so long. I'm sure I don't even hear it every hour. Every now and then I'll notice it. So someday maybe I'll start writing it down when it has. But today it was perfect. It was ringing just in time to wake us up from Shavasana. All right. So I don't know what we're going to do the rest of the week. Maybe just stuff, and then maybe next week we'll talk about some more stuff about yoga. We'll see. I don't know what we'll do. But yeah, it's good weather today. I'm going to go and work on my sheds. But I'm going to be really careful so that I don't get myself injured. Because then I'm just going to have to sit here and tell you what to do instead of like doing it with you. And that won't be nearly as much fun. Although it can happen. We can do it. Thank you, Dora, for coming. All right. Questions or no? Nothing? Okay. I'm going to go then, and I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great day.